76ers with mixed reports coming on the upcoming draft. I'm Chris from Philly Sports Fire. Before we get into the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay in tune for more videos in the near future. Jake Fisher reported yesterday that the prime candidate at number 3 at this juncture appears to be Baylor freshman guard VJ Edgecombe, who sources say visited with the Sixers last week. There's an expectation that Philly will bring in Rutgers' Ace Bailey down the road, but I have not heard of a workout scheduled to date. This definitely brought out some reactions that VJ Edgecombe now appears to be the front runner for Daryl Morey to make at number 3 in the upcoming draft, but that may not yet be the case. Very shortly after that, Jake Fisher jumped in to say, just in, a private workout with Ace Bailey is now being scheduled with Philadelphia, according to a league source. Story will be updated shortly. So that pretty much shut down quickly that this seems to be something pretty special for VJ Edgecombe, and that Ace Bailey is indeed getting a look for the Sixers. I would find that very weird for the Sixers to be pretty much saying right out that Ace Bailey is the player that they want to look for, and that the top 3 seem to be pretty solidified, but VJ Edgecombe definitely deserves a look, and for Daryl Morey to kind of just hop past that and be taking a look at VJ Edgecombe and not even give a look to Ace Bailey would seem very strange indeed. These reports seem to make it pretty clear that the 76ers have their eyes set on either Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe at number 3. It's not a surprise at all. The other players seem to be pretty nice. Trey Johnson, Kaman Maluach, Con Knipple, but those seem to be options that the Sixers would look at if they actually were to move back in the draft in a trade. But since it does seem that they are pretty excited about number 3, if they are to take this pick in the draft, which it does seem like most signs are showing towards, it would make sense for them to have a workout, a meeting, a dinner with them to see what they are really looking at. So keeping the number 3 pick and making that pick ultimately, or possibly making a trade down to acquire some other talent, are the majority of the reports that we are hearing. But this is a new one right here. Michael Scotto reports that the 76ers have engaged with the Spurs about potentially moving up to the number 2 pick. For now, the Sixers have zeroed in on 4 NBA prospects with the number 3 pick, including a private workout last week with VJ Edgecombe and Ace Bailey visiting Philadelphia next week. So that pretty much shows that they've met with Edgecombe and are going to be meeting with Bailey. It was just pretty much a matter of who they met with first that could possibly have something to do with it, but they also mentioned 2 other prospects at number 3. If I were to take a guess, it's probably Trey Johnson or Con Knipple, since we've heard some news about them, or Kaman Maluach, who does seem pretty exciting. But hearing about number 2 with the Spurs is something pretty interesting to look at. Now, I do think that there was something, can't remember where I saw it off the top of my head, but about a week ago or so, someone mentioned whether the Sixers trade back or trade up to number 2. May have been Brian Windhorst or someone, don't take my word for it, but that was something that pretty much was put aside and not many people were saying. I was just thinking, there's no way the Sixers are trading up to number 2, but with Morey expressing how young the Sixers are going to be looking at, maybe he wants to make sure he can do whatever he can to strike gold with the very best pick, even if that means trading up. For the Spurs, this might not be a bad idea for them too. They do seem to have pretty solidified guards in their starting lineup with De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, so they're looking for that other fit in the top 3 next to Victor Wembanyama. I think Ace Bailey makes a ton of sense. His shooting upside, the star potential that he has, and with them already having 2 really good guards, they don't necessarily need to be taking Dylan Harper, although it does seem that he appears to be the better player. But if they are to get some more assets possibly in return, whether it's a 3-team, 4-team trade, or if the Sixers give up a future pick, maybe that's something that the San Antonio Spurs were to do. Also, remember that the Phoenix Suns are looking to trade Kevin Durant, and maybe the Spurs would be interested in being in the sweepstakes for that. If that is indeed the case, the Sixers might want to try to move up at number 2 while the Spurs try to trade up for Kevin Durant, which could create an interesting blockbuster trade to spice up the offseason. For the 76ers, this is kind of interesting because Morey is all about win now, but still trying to get a very good pick at number 3 in the draft. It would make sense for there to be talk about him possibly trading down to still get a really good player in the draft, but at the same time to acquire some win now talent. For him to be trading up would probably mean that he would have to give more assets, but if you would think that Dylan Harper is more of a win now player and a better player for the future, and with whatever their Spurs might be looking to do, if it's trading for Durant or someone else, then that necessarily might not be something that Morey would be opposed to. What the trade package would look like is the part that I'm most interested in. The Sixers could be looking to give a future pick, or maybe to possibly move on from Jared McCain, which I don't think is likely. But if I'm the Sixers and I'm looking at a future backcourt of Tyrese Maxey and 6'6" Dylan Harper, I think that's a dream come true. For San Antonio, I don't see why they would have any incentive to be trading back to number 3. So most likely, if this were to be a deal that the Spurs would actually be interested in, they would probably be looking to do a 3-team, 4-team blockbuster trade and to acquire some really good player. But if you're the Sixers, trying to trade up for number 2 would be interesting and not really what we've been looking at, but I would absolutely not be opposed to in the slightest. Those are my instant reactions to those reports. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below, and keep an eye on for more videos.